Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Nat Walsh. Today we have a card that's going to look like a bit of a hot mess until it doesn't. Okay. If you saw last Tuesday's card, there over on the blog there was a bonus card and it was the same thing. I literally thought I totally screwed this up. But, we kept on going and I like the bonus card, how it turned out. So we're going to use this Paper Rose Mandala circle. So it has this little one in the center, which we're not actually going to use today. But you'll see that this will just cut out. We'll leave, it won't have a hole there. It would have a solid piece in the middle of our card. So we've got Seedless Preserve, we've got Faded Jeans and Candied Apple. Distress Oxides, and we're going to blend it with some brushes. We've got our Make Art Station, which is a great smooth platform to sort of do any sponging with, and it also has those magnets that you can see in the left hand corner. As I said, this is where it's going to look like a hot mess until it doesn't. Okay, so we're going to softly go through with our Faded Jeans. I am going to come back over that again, and we're going to keep moving that out or blending that out until I'm happy. But we're going to die cut this, so it's not going to matter. We're also going to flick a bit of water on it, so it's all going to work out in the end. At this point, I was like, yeah, I think I've done it again. But we all have that moment. So, you've already destroyed, so to speak, a piece of cardstock. You've already used a little bit of ink. Just keep going, see what happens. What have you got to lose? So we splashed a bit of water on that now. I'm going to clean up our surface and let that dry a little bit. And I just let that water sit on that panel for a couple of seconds before we blotted it off. Done. Now, as you can see there, it came out super easy. This was a little bit harder, but only because it has a lot of little small things. They cut out beautifully. Had just quite a few small little holes that I had to use my tool here to poke. I'm also going to use some plain cardstock, and we're going to cut this out twice, 2 more times again. Okay, I'm just going to play here and see whether I wanted to offset it and how I wanted to do it. I am going to offset it, but I'm not going to offset it how I've got it there, so you'll be able to see in the close-ups it's nicer. Using some multi-matte medium to glue those babies down. If I thought about it, I probably would have cut this out of some cardstock that I already have, like sticky back. Not sticky back. We just, here in Australia, we're just going to use double-sided tape, but it's the big, wide, possibly 6-inch wide, 5-6-inch wide. People that I know tend to call it the toilet roll because it looks like a toilet roll. Big, wide tape. So I would have done that, but I was just a bit focused on getting this done for today. So here we go, gluing our top panel on. As I said, I am going to offset this just a little bit. At this point, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with it now? Oh, we just had a piece that I missed. We're just trying to dig that out at the moment. So I was like, I don't know what to do with this now. My brain sort of went, can you guess, I don't go in with too many plans. I sort of decide that I want to play with this, and then we go with the flow and have a look and see what we end up with. So we have this glitter cardstock, which is a really nice glitter cardstock. I can't tell you where it's from because I don't have the packaging, but it doesn't shed like you get some. So it's nice. I don't end up with glitter everywhere. Multi-matte medium again. I like to use the wet glue, especially when it's going onto glitter cardstock, because I don't know about other places, but here in Melbourne, Australia, it gets quite humid, and it is summertime here now, and it just doesn't end up staying put with anything other than a wet glue. So I'm going to trim off that around. Yeah, I didn't leave it to dry as long as I should. So make sure you leave it to dry. It would be much easier for you. It's doable, but it'd be much easier for you. We're going to put that under something hard for a while. These are uniquely creative. This one is Essential Birthday. There's another one that's Essential Card Making. And we're just going to trim these apart. And then, like so many that are out there at the moment, they then have a stencil, a die that you can see just there. I think I've used it once before in the Christmas, just figuring out there what I wanted to use. In the Christmas range, you line up the two little grooves on the top left and bottom right, and that's it. You've cut them all out. You can save these for later. I tend to put it in a little snack bag, Ziploc snack bag, and just put it in my stash with all my tailored expressions. And who else? Paper Rose, I think, has some. But anyway, so we've figured it out. Now, put those aside there for a while. I decided, in not knowing what I wanted to do, is put a bit more colour in the background. This again is going to look like a bit of a mess, but I'm not worried about it because the centre you're not going to see. That's where my little mandala is going to be, and all I'm looking for is a soft outer bit. Keep placing it down just to make sure we've gone out far enough. And yeah, keep adding until we don't have to add. We're done. We got that. Now, this idea, the next idea was stolen from Jennifer Maguire. I'm sure she won't mind. Lots of little cardstocks, scraps of cardstock. I have in the past made a few albums. I still do make the odd album. And of course, if you make any albums, you end up with lots of little bits and pieces and lots of little scraps. So we're going to use those up. And I've done that a few cards lately. So it's totally like a Jennifer Maguire idea. But I really like it to get rid of all the scraps. So, I mean, you're only using a slither, so it's not as if it's going to be like... Please tell me you can't hear my son that I told that I was going to fit to a voiceover. But, you know, mum life. Yeah, so we're going to totally slowly get through all of that. Now, I have gone over it with the Black Soot Distress marker because it is printed on white cardstock. So just to make sure that it's got, you know, it finishes it all off. Let's put it that way, finishes it all off. Another distraction is my husband cutting things just right outside my window. We've trimmed this panel down. Yes, it is a leftover from something else. Don't throw these things away because you can still use it in a perfectly good card, as you could see from the back of mine. So I've trimmed that blue sponge panel down to 14.1 by 9.7. And again, there you go, Kaiser Craft old black cardstock. And this one, the black is 14.4 by 10. That's how our little card is going to come. Now my Mandala is not glued on properly, perfectly straight in one side, but that's all right because I wanted to trim off a little bit anyway, just to move it over and have it fit on a bit better. We'll glue him down with some wet glue and we'll go with the flow. What I'm going to do here very, very shortly is come in with some glossy accents. I've had this bottle way too long that I care to remember, honestly. It's a long, long time. But we're going to, it's still going. The nozzle is not as great as it used to be, so I'm hoping to use my other one and use this one to fill up the little container. But in the process, we're getting rid of this. So what I've done is I've filled in all my Mandala. Going to pop some bubbles, and I've done this with die cuts too, like hello die cuts, and the top layout, just to make it help it stand out a little bit. Trimmed it and put the glossy accents down. It just brings out the color a little bit more. It will dry clear. If you know glossy accents at all, you know that. We're just popping bubbles and cleaning up some mess. We've got some uniquely creative clear sequins, and I just decided that we needed a little bit more, something extra. So we're going to place those around, but I'm also going to place the glossy accents is still wet at this point. Okay. Even after I'm going to put these outside ones on first. It is still wet. So all you need to do is, using some tweezers, place your sequins in the glossy accents, and it will hold it beautifully. So that is my card for today. Over in the description box below, we'll have the blog post, so you can see a couple more photos, get a list of all the things that I've used, Mandala, the inks, all of it. And yeah, that would be awesome if you could pop over there and have a look. Whatever. If you don't need it, you want to go off the that's perfectly fine, of course. So please like and subscribe to my channel. If you hit the little bell, you'll get notified of whenever I upload. Sometimes and I've said this so many times, I just get a little bit crazy town, and I forget to throw it over to web pages and Facebook groups and all that sort of stuff. So if you hit the little bell and click on all notifications, then you will get notified as soon as I upload. So that's it, my card. Take care. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.